The year is 1968. A documentary comes out called Inside the Negro Middle Class. In theory, the video should be called Inside the Negro Upper Middle Class, which really shows an inside look at a plethora of African Americans who lived a life that the majority of African Americans at that particular time could ever even imagine. We had dentists, we had stockbrokers, we had attorneys, and many of those people going to PWI institutions, predominantly white institutions, some graduating from NYU, Harvard, or other Ivy League schools. And these African Americans had cocktail parties, dinner parties, and lived extravagant lives.
Bobby Jones and his counterparts are to be found in every state of the Union. 1 out of every 4 Negro families can be said to be middle class today, which is better than twice the figure of only 10 years ago. Most are still on the lower middle income rungs and the $7,000 to $15,000 a year category, though others, such as Bobby Jones, do much better. This is not to say, however, that the millennium has come. According to the United States Department of Labor Statistics, Negro median income is still little better than half that of whites, and whites' income is increasing at a faster rate. Moreover, 1/10 of all white families now have incomes in excess of $15,000 a year. But there are increasing numbers of Negroes whose incomes are rising as their qualifications multiply and racial barriers to their advancement slowly lessen.
But also there's a second theme, that these African Americans were disconnected from blacks in the struggle in lower class communities, probably in the same city. Imagine if you were a black living in, the best part of Manhattan, but blacks are struggling in the Bronx or Brooklyn. You don't really relate to them. And one of the reasons why you might not relate to them is because your values are higher than theirs. And people look down on you for being upper middle class. That's called the guilt of success that a lot of African Americans have. And this is still going on till this day. Educated professional blacks are a thing of the past. These guys are sellouts. They're buffoons. Now, these are the people that all of our folks fought for, hoping that we could become like them, because these are the talented blacks that left Black America and they left to go to white America. We've always had somewhat of an attitude towards them. So what we've did is, instead of supporting our upper elite blacks, we've decided to support the Pookies and the Ray Rays. We have a culture of saying, F the police, don't snitch, stop snitching. Many people have accepted the gospel of dustiness. And that gospel of dustiness goes with certain people like Glorilla, Meg Thee Stallion, almost every black male rapper, and of course, Sexyy Red. You see, Sexyy Red is the heartbeat of dustiness in Black America. She is what you would call the ultimate hood chick. We all know some of her songs, so we won't even get into that right now. And I'm not trying to say that everybody supports Sexyy Red, because they don't. But one of the reasons why Sexyy Red gets so much support is because, unfortunately, Sexyy Red is relatable. I don't care how successful or unsuccessful you are as a black person, we all have somebody like Sexyy Red in our family or close by. And for her, it's okay. She keeps it real, she keeps it funky, she keeps those cheeks getting clapped. Oh, the clapping sounds! And hey, she expresses herself, it's women's rights, it's whatever's rights. Who are we to talk bad about it? And when you support foolishness, you get foolishness. Because Sexyy Red decided to do something nice on Dr. King's birthday that was celebrated. What did she decide to do?
Sexyy Red is taking back her tribute to Martin Luther King Jr. So she posted a bunch of images of herself hanging out with Dr. King, dancing with him, also another one marching with him.
In an outfit that back then wasn't even invented yet. But the post got a ton of likes, although not everyone liked it.
Dr. King's daughter, Bernice King, was outraged and said, "This is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful to my family and my father, who is not here to respond for himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil human rights to end war and poverty." And she said, "Please delete."
And Sexyy Red did delete it and offered an apology to Bernice. "You ain't wrong. Never meant to disrespect your family. My apologies."
Now, if you can see this is Sexyy Red with Martin Luther King. This is an AI image. This is her and him together. You also see another clip of Sexyy Red marching for civil rights. This pissed off Dr. King's youngest child, Bernice King, and she said this: "This is intentionally distasteful, dishonoring, deplorable, and disrespectful to my family and my father, who is not here to respond himself because he was assassinated for working for your civil and human rights and to end war and poverty. Please delete." Okay? And she did delete at least one of the posts. But people are saying that, hey, this is funny. And I'm seeing that, you see some comedians, Carlos Miller, doing things like that. I mean, Rihanna has done things like this. And the reality is that I'm in Uganda. And, here in the central region of Kampala, there is the Kabaka. Now, the Kabaka is the king of the central region. And if somebody were to do that with the Kabaka, you want to know what would happen? That's exactly what would happen, because you will not come to this region of Kampala or the central region of Uganda and insult the king. It's just not going to happen. And then you'll have some of these same people who are upset with immigrants. You're upset with certain people from other black groups that come in and disrespect you. But then here's the key. If you are one of those people that's disrespecting yourself in your own community, you have to also believe that people are going to come after your people. And I don't care if you feel bad about Dr. King or if you didn't like Dr. King. If it wasn't for Dr. King, a lot of people who go to predominantly white institutions, PWIs, schools like that, yeah, Dr. King is one of those people that allowed you to do that. If you're also a person that's from another black group, if you're from another community that's not African American, hashtag FBA, well, the 1965 immigration bill was helped pass by Dr. King, which allowed you to be here. And see, that is a part of our culture, and we should respect our culture. But the problem is that when you support somebody like Sexyy Red, you are supporting people who disrespect the culture. Not even if she was the one that did this or not, but supporting Sexyy Red is the antithesis of what Dr. King, Malcolm X, and every black person that we know, whether it's your grandma, whether it's your great grandma, whether it's a great uncle, anybody who fought for civil rights, it's against. Our people never wanted us to end up like Sexyy Red or Pookie and Ray Ray rappers or any of that. And when we support these kind of people, which is foolishness, then we give them the right to say, go ahead and disrespect Dr. King. I mean, they're already doing everything foolish already. They're already acting a fool as it is. So how can we go out and say, well, hey, listen, can you please stop doing that? Oh, wait, you can do all the other ratchet stuff, but you just can't do that. Ain't nobody trying to hear that. Listen, when you are ratchet and you are dumb and you're doing everything for views, they're going to continue to do everything for views because they don't have any culture. And the reason why they don't have any culture is because we support people who don't have any culture. That's what we do. And we want to get mad when they go against the culture. Well, what culture are they going against when you're supporting that which is already uncultured? Because when you don't have any standards, you can't have a community. And I'm sorry, I was born in the 80s. I saw how black people were when I was coming up in the 90s as a young man. I remember a time where people would really speak to each other. I remember when I was able to go to Miss Honeycutt's house or Mr. Johnson across the street or somebody like that. You would see all the people that came from the South and worked at McClellan Air Force Base and how everybody was a community, and you couldn't even play with a friend if that person didn't go to church. What church they go to? Okay, what's their mom name, grandma name? In our neighborhood, you either went to Macedonia Baptist Church, you went to Mount Olive Baptist Church, you know what I'm saying? You went to Mount Calvary Baptist Church, Union Baptist Church, or Pearly Gate, or some church that we knew, Mount Herman. And so from then, we're able to trace your family and to see if your family goes to church and if they're respectable people or not. That's because you're community minded at that point. And if somebody's going to come in and be foolish, we're going to punish that person. We don't want that person around us. We don't want that person coming around us. But once you go against those principles because you want to do whatever you want to do, then you're going to be against everything that made you a great community. And what you're seeing right now is we're going against everything that made us great. And now we want to get mad at it. You can't pick and choose your poison. You have to eliminate all foolishness or suffer the consequence. And that's exactly what it is. So I don't really blame Sexyy Red. I blame those people who've always supported her. So guys, what do you think? It's your boy O'Shea Duke Jackson back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe to the bell. We're out.